Good afternoon, Nerd Watch. This is Collector J, and you are watching the very first video blog of the Nerd Watch. Going to be looking at opinions, collectibles, comic books, anything you can think of, we will try to cover it. First off, we're going to start with a Civil War story arc produced by Marvel from 2006 to 2007 in anticipation for the rumors that the Captain America 3 will be bringing in that storyline. So wanted to kind of give people the ability to, if they can't read the comics, to have a little background story. It does cover a little over 100 comic books over that course of almost a year. So we're going to take a look at each one and familiarize ourselves with this storyline. In May of 2006, the new Avengers Illuminati one-shot, produced by Mark Miller and penciled by Steve McNiven, sets us up with a little behind the scenes of going into the Civil War. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, starting off, we're in Wakanda. If you're not familiar with that, that is where Black Panther is from. We're in an office, or in his castle, you could say, with Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Professor X, Dr. Reed, Black Bolt, Aquaman, and of course Black Panther. So why are they all getting together? Well, in previous stories, which we won't get into, there was a war between the Skrull and the Kree that pretty much almost wiped out the Earth. Now, Tony's feeling a little, wants to take credit, or not really credit, but kind of feels that it's the superheroes' fault for allowing that to happen because there's so many factions. Not everyone has all the right information at this right time, and because of that, they were unable to prevent the battle from coming to Earth. So what Iron Man proposes to all those involved is kind of like a Justice League, if I might use the term, of heroes, all working as one group, pooling information, coming together, and hopefully to prevent any future wars on their planet. Now, Black Panther, without a second, says no. Not his thing, doesn't agree with it, totally against it, and pretty much walks out of the room. Now, as it goes on, a little more conversation, everyone decides that they're going to move forward, only with the 6 people that are in the room. So Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Professor X, Dr. Reed, Black Bolt, and Aquaman. Of course, Black Panther's out. So it's also important to note that family members, friends, allies, no one else is going to be involved in these meetings. At the end of the scene, we see Professor X bringing up an island called Krakoa, which then cuts scene. So remember that for the future. Next scene, we come into the Hulk, who has just destroyed Las Vegas. And up in the helicarrier, we now have Iron Man talking to S.H.I.E.L.D., going over the fact that the Hulk has just killed 26 people, including 2 kids and a dog. And there's a discussion about how Hulk can't control it, and Iron Man has a plan. So he then leaves and meets up with Dr. Reed, Aquaman, Doctor Strange, and Black Bolt to put forth a plan to keep Hulk from killing or hurting anyone else. So what they're discussing is, and this is another story arc that many people love, is sending Hulk to outer space. Now, everyone agrees but one. Aquaman is totally against it. And he and Iron Man end up getting into a battle. Back and forth. I mean, people just don't agree. And in the end, Doctor Strange stops it, and we cut to the Hulk going to outer space to fix a satellite, and then is shot out to space. After that, we come to a Stark Enterprise Funtime Inc., where we have Black Bolt, Dr. Reed, Iron Man, and Aquaman. Professor X is missing. From the first scene, Professor X is there, but then this is a little later down the road. Professor X is still missing from the House of M storyline, which you can look up, take a read. Maybe we'll cover that in a future episode. And what Iron Man is doing now is he is calling attention to a bill that was handed to him under the table called the Superhero Registration Act. And what this does is it requires people with superheroes, anyone who wears a cape, a mask, has superpowers, to register with the government. Now, this sounds awfully familiar to something like the X-Men. The thing that was done differently is would actually have the superheroes register and then work for the government, like as police officers, but they would always answer to someone. Now, Tony Stark, or Iron Man, believes that they should come out beforehand and show their support to try to lessen the blow to superheroes. Back and forth, back and forth. Aquaman feels that it's Tony's way of doing to them what he did to the Hulk. So of course he's against it. Doctor Strange is also against it. He feels it's very wrong. But Dr. Reed is on the same side as Tony. And he thinks they should come out and support it. Of course, then we have Aquaman and Doctor Strange leaving. You know, and the final panel leaves us with Dr. Reed saying it was fun while it lasted, which is interesting to me because, I kind of liked because it really sums up what's about to happen. Now, this is not part of the actual Civil War arc. It's just a little behind the scenes talking about the things that lead up to it. And that's it. So that's a comic. If you haven't already read it, I highly recommend that you do. Give it a quick read. It continues in Fantastic Four number 536, which we will be covering next. And let us know what you think. Again, this is Collector J with the Nerd Watch. Look forward to hearing what everyone has to feel. Aloha.